In this video, we're going to talk about the stratified sample. We return to our breakfast cereals and needing to get a sample of them so that we can study some nutritional information. This time, we will use what's called a stratified sample. In a stratified sample, we divide our population into groups known as strata. These strata are supposed to share characteristics. And then we sample from each strata. This is a good way of getting data that represents multiple different groups, the strata, equally. And so from our breakfast cereal example, the strata I'm going to choose are brands. And it turns out there are 3 brands of cereal represented here. There are Post cereals, not very many of those. There are General Mills cereals, and there were quite a few of those. And then there were Kellogg cereals. And so we have 3 strata: Kellogg's, General Mills, and Post. And this guarantees me that even though Post doesn't have very many cereals in the population, that we will still get data from Post cereals. So now we need to sample from each of our strata. So I'm going to return to my coffee cup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate a sample by drawing some things out of each of the strata. Now, I need to pick a sample size before I get started. And since there were 3 groups, a sample of size 7 doesn't work anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 2 things out of each strata and end up with a sample of size 7. Excuse me, a size 6. Fortunately, I wrote the right number. We're just going to leave that error in the video. All right, so I need to mix up the Kellogg cereals and pick 2 of them. 1, 2. Those will be in my sample. I can discard the rest of those and put my next strata in the coffee cup. Mix them up, shuffle up the cereals. And now I'm going to pick 2. 1, 2. Discard those and put the final group of cereals in, the final strata. I need to pick 2. 1, 2. And here's my sample, this time of size 6. What it does is represent each group that shared a characteristic here, brand, equally. So I have 2 Kellogg cereals, I have 2 General Mills cereals, and I have 2 Post cereals. So the advantage of the stratified samples, I'm guaranteed to represent different categories equally. Disadvantage is I might overrepresent one group. In my population, there were 3 total Post cereals, and so I have 2/3 of that strata here in my sample.